Hit record. So thank you very much. And guys, thank you so much for being here. This is part 2 of our social media class that Jessica, my personal social media specialist, and a bunch of other wonderful adjectives that she is of just awesome, awesome, awesome. She is going to share some things today that even it's news to me on some of the things that she's going to share. So it's a good stuff. And we'll go ahead and start that. So Jessica, I will give you complete command of this and here, and I will give you allow recording, allow pin, make you a host. So all right, oops, I just missed one. There's one person, Talea just came in. I just missed her. So if you could let her in too, that'd be great. Talea and baby. Perfect. All right, guys, I'm going to introduce Jessica again. She's amazing. So go ahead and you can start going where you need to go.
All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us now for part 2. This is the second half of our social media marketing training. Now, please, if you could mute your microphones before we begin, I'd really appreciate it.
That including me probably too, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, everybody. So I am Jessica Pacenti. If you joined us last week, you know a little bit about me, but I am a digital marketing specialist. I am the owner of J. Taylor Marketing, a small business that focuses on digital marketing for entrepreneurs, content creators, and luxury goods and services. I have 7 years of professional experience in the marketing industry, including construction, interior design, fitness, outdoors, grocery, luxury hospitality, food and beverage. So I'm well versed in a lot of different areas. But I primarily focus on social media and content creation to bring people to the right audience and to have content creators and entrepreneurs develop a brand that is very engaging and enticing for their potential clients. And most importantly, I am Eric's social media manager. So last week, if you were here, we went over getting started on social media, a few limiting beliefs, and then setting up your profile, as well as all about content. So what we're focusing on with Eric, where to find ideas, and a little bit on how to film and some examples of that, some examples of content, and the equipment that you'll need to actually film that content. So at the end of this conversation, I will post in the messages in the chat function this reference list that we used last week. And this is basically a few links to what you can post, some ideas on what to post for real estate. Also a great list of real estate agents and content creators online who are producing great content that you'll want to kind of copy and emulate if you're struggling to create content on your own. And then 3 basic equipment items that you can use when filming content. So I will post this at the end. Part 2 will focus more on the nitty-gritty of social media. So the formula of a post, what is basically all about caption, hashtags, engagement with others, what you need to do when it comes to creating a content calendar, and how we use Meta Business Suite for scheduling. A little bit on analytics, and then a little bit on growth and advertisements. So organic versus paid engagement, and then earning money from social media. So we went over this last week, but we all know why that social media is important, but why? So it's where the people are. This is where people are moving to. This is where marketing is moving to. This is where real estate marketing is pivoting to. So previously, if you were doing in-person or print marketing, social media is now the way to go. It's where you'll meet new connections with people that you may have never met in person. And it's where you'll see a lot of new personalities come to the forefront. So if you're primarily in an office, you might not be seeing a lot of people come to that office anymore. People might have new places that they're living. They might be living in more rural areas. And so they're not coming to the office as much. And you can really meet those people online instead of in person. Second. It's where you can generate mostly free leads. So when I say mostly free, again, I'm referring to the cost of the equipment. That could be your phone, that could be your recording device, that could be your tripods, that could be your lighting. But otherwise, social media is free to use. There are some paid features. We'll go over that. a little bit later, but it is mostly free to use minus your cost of filming equipment. And it's where you can develop and expand your own personal brand. So I said this last week, many of you might already have a web page or a web page within your brokerage. There might not be a lot of flexibility here to add your own style, your own colors, your own aesthetic elements, but social media is a great place where you can do that. So you can develop and expand on your personal brand, and you can have a lot of fun doing it. So I encourage you, if you're not on social media already, to get on it because it's a great place to be as a real estate agent. So first, we're going to go over the formula of a post. Right here, we have two examples, both on Instagram and on Facebook. This is the same exact post. So both of these features have the same photos, they have the same caption, they have the same hashtags, they have the same links. But just for reference, this is what they look like on different platforms. So today we're going to go over the science and the intricate details of what to put in your caption, how to develop some high quality content, and then also how we're going to go about posting it. And if you're just joining us now, can you please mute your microphones? All right, so we're going to start with the content itself. So this could include a photo, multiple photos, or a video. And what you want to make sure of is that when you're producing this content and when you're posting this content, that it's high resolution. That's probably the most important thing, is that your videos and your photos are high resolution. You also want them to be captivating and interesting, easy to decipher. You want people to be get the first impression right away. You have about 3 to 5 seconds to make an impression on social media because people are scrolling so quickly. So you really want to capture their attention right away with a high quality, captivating image or video. And if there is text in this image or video, you want it to be easy to read. So here's some examples of that. With Eric's content, there's a lot of variety. So we talked about this last week. He has a mix of graphics. He has a mix of new listing posts, a mix of personal posts, some videos. So these are all very good examples of high quality, high resolution, captivating pieces of content. And if you were a user that came across his page, it'd be really easy to tell what each piece of content is about just from a glance. So we have some listing posts, obviously. We have some graphics with information, obviously. The text is legible, even when it's in the zoomed out format like this. But we also have different formats of content. So on the left here, this is his static feed from July. There's a few, variations in content here, but then on the right, we have all of his videos. The thing about it is that everything is high quality, everything is high resolution, everything is inviting. There's no weird screen grabs. There's no blank screens where it might just be a black square or a white square because you didn't set your cover image right or you didn't crop it correctly. So you really want to make sure that you're taking the time to produce high quality content. And here are some things to avoid. So these are examples of poor quality content. And these are kind of funny because when you actually purposely try to create poor quality content, it's kind of a challenge, especially with the technology that we have available to us today. So anything blurry, anything out of focus, anything with fingers in the lens or a smudged camera, you really want to avoid. And we took these two example photos yesterday. And as you can tell here, like this blurry camera out of focus image is just not doing anything. It's not enticing. And a user is very likely to just swipe right by. Again, here, this is an example of bad lighting. You can't see the subjects. You don't know what's actually going on. There's a big sun flare in the lens. There's my fingers in the lens. You want to avoid this altogether. And then over here on the right side, we have some more examples of things that might not work on social media that I recommend avoiding. So up on the top, we have an image with just too much going on. There's too many colors. It's really hard to read this text here. Even though the information is valuable, you can't tell what's going on. So I would avoid this. Someone would be like, what is this? Swipe right by. And then on the other hand, down below on the far right corner, we have an example of something that's not enough. So there's no visual appeal here to this post. The text is too small. You can't read it. someone is just going to swipe right by, even though there might be a really valuable piece of information on this post. So these are some things you really want to avoid, especially this day and age when we have such advanced phone cameras and camera recording equipment that it's really hard to produce poor quality content in the first place. So now that we've gone over photos, videos, and just the resolution of the content, we're going to dive into the caption. So your caption is a place where you want to explain what's happening within the photo or within the video. This is where you're offering more context on what's going on. You're expanding on the conversation that people might be having. So rather than just saying, oh, hey, here's this house, you're really going into details about what the listing or what the post might encompass. So within this caption example here, it's a new listing now in Auburn. It gives some details. These details are already in the post, but we're just reiterating it again. And then giving the estate or the listing details here. So offering more context, expanding on the conversation, making sure it's warm and welcoming. You're really inviting people to communicate with you and that there's no spelling errors. And this is really important because when you have little errors or little things that are deterring people from reading your content, it's also showing that you might not be paying attention to the little details within your business. So it's really important to just plug it into spell check before you post. We have spell check automatically on most of our mobile devices. I use Grammarly on my desktop and it's totally free. There are some paid versions where they have some more advanced features, but the free version is incredible. So I really recommend that you use a spell checking application. That way you're missing any of those, misspellings or weird grammar errors. Grammarly will correct that for you, which is awesome. And then finally, and most importantly, using a call to action. So a call to action within the content itself is a statement that triggers an emotional, physical, or other type of response that causes the user to engage with your content. Now, this is a part of your message that tells the audience what to do after they've consumed the content. So if it's written right or said correctly, it might inspire them to also do that action. Some examples of this might be, you write your whole caption out, you're explaining a house, you're explaining a listing, or you're explaining what happened in your day, you're explaining a feeling that you might be feeling, and you ask, have you ever done this? Have you ever felt this way? Can you relate to what I'm feeling? Or am I the only person that does this? Please tell me I'm not the only person who goes to Chick-fil-A after a long day. You really want to relate to your audience and ask them, make it personable. Another thing you can do is request an action. So leave a smiley face in the comments if they relate to the post, if they relate to what you're saying. Leave a smiley face in the comments if you love this custom kitchen of this listing, or like this post if you can relate. It's very simple. You're just asking them to like the post. They don't even need to type anything out. Or tag a friend in the comments who might need this information or who might love this house. And then finally, simply DM me if this applies to you, direct message me if this applies to you, or text me for an immediate answer. You might have some listings that are time sensitive. You might have open houses. You might have really time sensitive information. And if you want people to reply to you immediately, you can always just ask them to. It really promotes them to engage with you, directly reach out to you, and interact with your content, which then in return kind of boosts it a little bit and puts it in front of more people. So an ideal example of a post here, we have a high quality image. So we looked at this before, but this is a new listing in Auburn. The caption then provides some extra context as of what is going on in the video or the photo. So this caption reads, looking to move to Auburn, this might be the opportunity you've been waiting for. So creating some encouragement there. This might be your opportunity. You don't want to miss out on this. Just listed on Wimbledon Drive. This 3-bed, 2-bath is perfect for a growing family. So you're capturing that audience who might be looking for a family-friendly house to move to. Large private backyard and plenty of space for the kids and pets to play is a dream. So you're really elaborating on what is being featured up in this post. Yes, Cassandra.
Okay, so I have a question about this. In regards to the high quality image, can we capture that just off of our cell phone?
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay, and do you have any examples or what we should do to capture the high quality? Do we need to change it to 4K, or how do we, can we not take the photo straight off of Instagram?
That's a great question. With your phone, typically it's already set to a standard of like high quality if you have some of the newer phones. So you don't have to worry too much about like resolution, whether it's 4K or the frames per second if you're filming video. I would recommend setting it at the 1080 setting, which is pretty standard. And that's what the setting is for social media, is 1080 resolution. And you can all go into your camera settings and kind of finesse that out, but you don't have to worry about it too much. The thing you really want to focus on is just making sure that there's no like grime on your camera. You want to like wipe it off with a napkin or your sleeve before you're taking the photos or before you're taking the videos. You also want to make sure that when you're setting the camera up, that you're in focus. So sometimes you have to press the subject and it'll autofocus for you, regardless of what the resolution is set to. So you just want to make sure that you're in focus and that there's nothing grimy on the camera. We're really lucky now that we have like really advanced technology that it's hard to take poor quality photos. I had to put hand sanitizer like dripping down my phone yesterday to take those example photos. That's how hard it was to take like bad content. So you don't have to worry about it too much. Just make sure that the screen is clear and there's no fingerprints on it.
Thank you.
Okay, so caption provides some extra context here. So just listed on Wimbledon Drive, this 3-bed, 2-bath is perfect for a growing family. Large private backyard and plenty of space for kids to play is a dream. So it then elaborates on what is going on in the post. And if you were using social media, you'd actually be able to swipe through this one and see multiple features of the home, including the large backyard. So then we have a really encouraging call to action. Leave a house emoji in the comments if you'd love to have a big family-friendly backyard. This is just communicating. Leave a house emoji if you like a big backyard. You're not asking them to buy the house. You're not asking them to see the house. Just telling them, put a house emoji in the comments if you like a big backyard, because this might signal to you that this family or this person is looking for a house in the future with a bigger space. It might signal that they actually like this house and that they will reach out to you later. You can go to their comment, you can comment back and say, oh, it would be a dream. Let me know if you want to check it out, and kind of entice them a little bit more like that. But it's a simple and easy way to get people engaging with your content itself. And it's just a house emoji. You could change the emoji. It could be a thumbs up. It could be a smiley face. It could be anything. But just for this example, it's a house. So this formula typically applies across all social media. There are some variances with TikTok and YouTube just because those are video-based platforms, but any platform that has photo or video sharing like Facebook and Instagram, this is kind of a standard. So you want to have an enticing caption, you want to have good captivating content, and you want to make sure that you have a call to action. When you're filming video, however, if you're worried about how to incorporate the call to action, you say it in the video and then you reiterate it in the caption itself. So Eric does a really great job of stating the call to action in the video. Call me if you're ready to move out of state. Like, subscribe, reach out to me if you want to learn more about this house. Reach out to me now if you want to see this house. You know, feel free to reach out at any time. He says it in the video, and then he reiterates it in the caption. So people are reminded twice on how to engage with the content or how to reach out to Eric himself. Now we're going to move on to hashtags. So hashtags are kind of a controversial thing in the social media world. There's a lot of disagreements on it. There's a lot of agreements on it. But we'll get into this. So hashtags categorize your content across the web. They act like a filing system. A hashtag digitally sorts your content into special interest folders across all social media platforms, regardless of where you're posting. So hashtags, in order to be effective, should really relate to your ideal target audience of that specific post. So here we have an example. This is a listing we had up in Grass Valley. It's kind of a nice little starter home, median home price. They got a nice yard. There's a lot of space. So generally, the target for this post and this house might be buyers who are looking to move to Grass Valley. So when you're thinking of hashtags to use for this, you would think homes in Grass Valley, for sale in Grass Valley, just listed in Grass Valley, or Grass Valley real estate. These are all pretty general terms that people might be searching when they're looking to move to Grass Valley. But if you really want to niche down and target the ideal client for this house, you would put in some more information about what the house attributes are. So this one in particular, maybe it has a big backyard, it's a great starter home, it might need some renovations or some updates, has an outdoor doghouse or room for an RV, quick access to ski hills and outdoor recreation, and it's priced around the $500,000 range. So these are the more intricate details of the listing. And that really creates an ideal client persona of a first-time home buyer who might be looking for a starter home under $500,000 or in that price range. They love the outdoors and they need room for their 2 dogs. So this is the person that you're wanting to speak to. And in order to reach them, you need to use ideal sets of hashtags with these intricate details built in. So these are search terms that this ideal client might be searching on social media. Homes for sale with a backyard, homes under $500,000, first-time home buyer, Grass Valley outdoor recreation, dog-friendly homes, just a variety of things that are very specific to this listing itself will help you target the ideal client that would ultimately purchase this home. And then finally, we have agent-specific hashtags. So Eric uses these typically: Eric Hatch Realtor, Century 21 Agent, Century 21 Cornerstone. It's basically all about him, the office he works with, the brokerage he works with, where his location is: Sierra Foothills Realtor, Grass Valley Realtor, sometimes Auburn Realtor, depending on where the listing is. Top producing agent. This just classifies him so people know that he's an agent. But how hashtags work is they are like search terms. So people will go to their search queue and type in "for sale in Grass Valley" or Eric Hatch Realtor if they're looking for him. Maybe they want to work with Century 21 specifically. They'll type in Century 21 Agent. And if your photos or your posts are tagged with these terms, then they're more likely to see this content. They might already be following these hashtags as well. Somebody who's interested in homes that are under 500,000 might automatically follow this. And if you're posting about it, this will pop up on their feed automatically. So with Instagram specifically, you're limited to 30 hashtags. I recommend that you use all of those 30 hashtags because it gives you the opportunity to reach more people who might be either subscribed to these hashtags already or who are looking for these categories. So definitely use the hashtags. We're trying to move away from the hashtag sunny, hashtag gorgeous, hashtag summer vibes, hashtag lawn, like hashtag coffee. Those are too general. Those don't provide much value for anybody. Yes, they categorize those posts, but they're not reaching the ideal client that would, for real estate, ultimately end up becoming a business opportunity and purchase the listing that's featured in the post itself. So again, hashtags categorize your content across all social media. They act as a filing system and sort your content into special interest folders that people are looking for. And hashtags should relate to your ideal target audience per post. So your hashtags might be different for each post, especially because you guys have so many different listings in different areas. But they should really just relate to your target audience, trying to invite those specific buyers for those specific homes to interact with that content or just see that content. So finally, after you've posted, after you've put all of this stuff together, after you've gotten the right caption, the right photo, and the right hashtags, you press post. Don't disappear from the app. Don't post and then hide for 6 hours because you're afraid of what the reaction might be. So don't post and ghost. You really want to stay active on the app, especially if you're posting regularly, and try to reply to each comment or engagement or DM in a very timely manner. And Eric says this a lot, but people reach out and they expect an immediate response from you. And as real estate agents, if you don't reply basically immediately, they can move on and find a new agent immediately. There are just so many options. And if you're not being very timely with your responses, then you might miss the opportunity to have a new business partner or a new client. So try to reply in a very timely fashion. And then when it comes to other people's posts, you want to like and comment regularly with other agents or community members in the area to keep your name top of mind. So writing happy birthday messages or recommending a service provider if people are asking for suggestions in Facebook forums or on comments or on posts. Leaving words of praise or kind messages on people's posts. This is a beautiful photo. Thank you for sharing. I hope you have a great day. Those kind of things. Just facilitating friendly conversation, and then even asking questions. So if you have a fellow agent in your office who's posting a new listing, ask them, I love this house. What's your favorite feature of the house? Or what's your favorite feature of the kitchen? And start a conversation within the comments, because not only does this create connections between you and other agents, but there are people who will see this. It might not always be agents. It might be clients that you're communicating with. Just keeps you top of mind, and it reminds people that you're a friendly, trustworthy person that they can then use in business later on. So now we're going to dive into creating a content calendar, which is one of the more tricky things when it comes to social media, because there are a lot of different ways that you can go about this. So right now, this is currently the strategy that Eric and I use. We go weekly. So every Monday, I will plug in 5 pieces of content, the ideal 5 pieces of content that we're going to use that week. And then we tried to stick to the schedule, but things change. So yesterday, if you saw our post, this actually was a feature on the Century 21 client appreciation event. It changed because things just change in real estate all the time. So we found that doing a weekly calendar is more beneficial to us. And this was just created in Google Sheets, where it's like Excel, but on Google. And you just plug it in. I put a little information about what it is. Then we write the caption. It's kind of simple. But we used to do it like this, where we would plan a month in advance. And you can see this is from July. So the first week of July, we had a graphic we were going to feature. We were going to film the July market update. We were going to put some current listings in here. But we never really knew if things were changing so quickly. We didn't know what listings we would need to feature. We didn't know if we'd do a video, a post, a cooking with your agent. We didn't know that far in advance what we would have for July, because we built this in June. So this didn't really work for us just because things changed so much. We didn't end up following this schedule, this weekly, monthly plan. So we switched to the weekly format. What you could also do, and this is one of my other clients, she is a social media manager for wineries in Napa Valley, and she doesn't have a lot of content. She doesn't need to post all the time. It's not like she has new listings. Basically, she's just promoting her social media business. So this is all the posts that she had for August, and it's not very many. So she's able to plan the whole month in advance, and nothing really changes because it's so slow. So you can do this. You can plan the entire month, sit down, take an hour to plan out your whole month of content. But as a real estate agent, I want you to be mindful that things change so rapidly, and every client you work with is so different. They might have different needs or wants or marketing questions that you're going to follow, and you might stray from this like set in stone format of content planning. So there's a few ways you can do it. I recommend using Excel or Google Sheets. So all of these calendars were created in Google Sheets. They're created this way because you can share them with people, and because I develop a lot of calendars for people, this is the easiest way to share them versus using an Excel document. But you can use Excel, it's the same, just no sharing. And then you can also use Meta Business Suite. So this is a screenshot of Eric's Meta Business calendar from September. And as you can see, we were pretty heavy on the posts every single Tuesday. And through the end of the week, we kind of took Mondays off. September was a slower month for him and for me as well. So there wasn't a whole lot of content here, even though it might look like it. But it'll show you where you posted. So Facebook or Instagram, if it was a story, it's in orange. But it basically shows you everything. And Meta Business Suite, you can schedule content out, you can create drafts, and you can post on both Facebook and Instagram simultaneously. So this is a screenshot of the week, this current week. as of Wednesday. So it looks a little different right now. But you can see we had our 3 posts at the beginning of the week. It shows where they were. It shows some engagement. This orange one, these are stories. So they were archived, obviously, after 24 hours. And then it shows Facebook, Instagram, shows you where it is. And then over here on the right, you can schedule a post or a story and save time by scheduling ahead. So this is how we schedule future content. We don't plan in here. We don't like put ideas in here. We do that on the document, the Excel document, but this is where we end up scheduling things out. So if you click into here, you can click schedule, or you can click down on the day you want to schedule. You click create. And this will take you to a builder. So this is what a builder looks like, basically without any content plugged in. Up in the top left, you will have a drop down, and this will allow you to select where you want to post to. So for us, we post on his Facebook and his Instagram page most times. You can add a photo, you can add a video. When it comes to photos, you cannot exceed 10 photos. And then video, we don't typically schedule out. I'll post those manually. But this is great for photos, especially if you're sharing to both platforms. You can add the text, and you can customize it for both Facebook and Instagram if you want them to be a little bit different per platform. You can add the location, some emojis, you can boost the post, you can add links. There's all these options here. You can boost here, which is, we'll go over this in a second, but you can boost the post here automatically. And then you can schedule. So you have the option to publish it immediately, schedule it for a future time, or save it as a draft. So if you're not sure if you want to post right now or tomorrow, you can save it and then come back to it later. So this is what it looks like when there's a little bit of content plugged in here. So I have our banner image put in here, a quick note. Thank you for joining us today for our training. Check out more on my YouTube with a link. If you wanted to, you could schedule it, you could publish it now, but this is just what it looks like. It'll give you a little preview. You can select a desktop view or a mobile view. And if you're posting on Instagram as well, it'll give you the option to see what the preview would look like in the Instagram feed. So boosting, we had a lot of questions on this last week. There's many different ways to boost posts on Instagram, and this is related to advertising. So this is paid engagement. You can boost posts directly from their listing or from the post itself. So this top little square here, this is from Facebook Marketplace, where we host all of Eric's current listings. And if you press the little 3 dots here, you can boost the listing just from here. And it can be $7, $6, $8. You can set your own amount. It's pretty cheap. And you can run it for 2 days or 10 days if you wanted to. So I invite you to go in and look at that and see what your options are. It's a really great way to get this listing in front of more eyes. Or you can post about the listing with a link to your website and directly boost it from that post itself. So it's kind of the same format. You press boost post. It'll give you an ad like settings list. We'll go over that in the next slide. And you can just put some money behind it and get this out to more people who might be interested in this content. The third way to do this is to create an ad. This is within Meta Business Suite. So this is more complicated. And if you're just starting out with advertising, I'd recommend going on YouTube and looking up creating ads in Meta Business Suite. Just looking up videos, because those free resources on YouTube are super valuable. And they'll teach you a lot more than I could in this short hour time frame. So definitely check out YouTube to learn more about creating an ad, but you can do a new ad where you're retargeting people who've been to your website. Maybe you're doing a lead generation list where people are filling out a questionnaire and then you're getting new leads from that. You can boost an Instagram post or just a Facebook post or even an event. So there's so many things you can do here, but I recommend looking on YouTube if you want to get more detailed there. And then analytics. So the analytics portion is kind of important. If you are sharing your analytics data with your clients, it might be more important if they're wanting to see like the engagement on their marketing. We share a little bit of that with our clients where like we show the reach and the engagement and the clicks on those specific listings, but not all real estate agents do that, and you don't need to. But these can be found within Meta Business Suite or within the Instagram app. So this is Eric's most recent insights and analytics. You can see what content is working, what's not working. You can see your reach and engagement and following information. So we're seeing that we're reaching 12,000 people that are not following us in the last 30 days. That's awesome. We're getting eyes on our content and we're not paying for it. So we do not boost anything on Instagram. We only boost our Facebook listings and marketplace. So this is all organic. And it's just from posting 3 to 5 times a week. We don't post every single day, but 3 to 5 times is a sweet spot for us. And people are seeing the content, which is fabulous. So some more on paid engagement. Here it is. So when you're setting up these ads, this is kind of what it looks like when you go into the settings window. It will ask you if you have a special ad category. And this was a question we had last week. But when you're running anything at all related to housing or real estate, you need to make sure that you select this special ad category. And it looks like this. You have to toggle it on, and then you have to select housing from the drop-down menu. If you don't do this, your ad, regardless of what it's about, it might just be you're at a house, like kind of showing it off. You're not even promoting going to your website or buying the home. If you do not select this as a real estate agent, your ad will be rejected. And if this happens a lot, your account might be flagged. So always put housing as your special ad category when you're a real estate agent, just because you want to make sure that you're not getting dinged by Facebook for not putting the right information behind your ads. So finally, with payment and paid engagement, there are a few ways that influencers make money on social media, and we hear about this a lot in different ways. So influencers make money in 2 ways: paid collaborations, which is probably the biggest one, and payments for views. These are the most common ways, but paid collaborations are typically where an influencer or a content creator is sent an item or partners with a brand to promote a virtual item or a digital piece of software, something that they're paid to promote. So they make a lump sum amount or a regular amount of money from a company because they're paid to advertise that specific item. They're not paid because they get a lot of views. They're not paid because they have a certain amount of following. Those are factors, but they're paid by a company to promote the item on social media. And the other way that's pretty common is payments for views. And this differs on each platform. So if you're on YouTube, you might be paid cents on the dollar for views. It might be like 0.0003 cents per view, depending on how many followers you have and how big your reach is. On TikTok, there's something called the Creator Fund where you're paid for views, you're paid for your high following. You need 10,000 followers in order to do this, but you're paid basically for your views. Same with Instagram. They have a feature now called bonuses, and this is a pay-per-view format that they're just working out. It could be 3 cents a view, it could be 6 cents a view. It might not even be that. It depends on your follower level. It's still in beta testing, so I only have one account that I manage that actually gets paid for its views. And this account is seeing 60,000 views a reel or 85,000 views a reel and only making about $100, even though they're posting consistent videos that see a lot of reach. So it's really not that much money. But these are ways that people are paid on social media. But because you guys are real estate agents, this is not something that you should be so concerned with, because your goal online is not to become an influencer per se. Maybe in the future, you might grow a really big following. You might start getting these collaborations and these view payments. But when you're starting out, your goal really should be to connect with new leads, meet new clients, develop relationships and trust, and lead you to secure more business deals. And this is where your income will come from. So rather than, trying to post a viral video and get $50 for the views, you're going to make more money if you have a really strong lead who sees you on social media and says, yes, I want to hire you as my agent, and then you close a house, you're going to make way more money than $50, I would hope. So last week we talked about this, and it's regarding following. How many people do you actually need to make money? Because maybe a lot of you are just starting out and you don't have that big of a following yet, which is totally fine. So true or false? You need 10,000 or more followers to make money. The answer is false. You need engaged followers to form a community, earn trust, develop relationships, and earn the business of those engaged followers. So I asked this question last week. If you have 100 followers and only 15% of those people are highly engaged, that seems like a small number, especially with only 100 followers. Those 15 followers really trust you, they love your content, they think you're funny, and then they choose you as their agent in 2023. So every month, maybe you get a new inquiry from these 15 people. That's 15 new business opportunities in 2023. That's 15 new income opportunities, and that's only because you had 100 followers. Imagine being in a room with 100 people, and all those people love what you're doing. That's a lot of people. So don't knock yourself if you don't have a huge following. Don't compare yourself to other people or other agents, because typically the people that are following you are in your sphere of influence. They're your community members. They like what you're doing. Imagine having 100 new clients in the new year. All you're following, those 100 people that you thought were so small, that's a lot of houses to close on. So don't worry about the follower count. Just worry about creating high quality content that's engaging, and then forming a community to develop those relationships out. So I will post now the content list for everybody to refer to. Go ahead and check in the messages of this chat. It's called Digital Marketing Training Resource List. So it's now at the bottom. And that's it. So Cassandra, you have a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was hoping that you would maybe discuss with us how to create an engaging reel, because that is where the engagement and the content is going. It's going towards video. And so I've made reels, but I was hoping that you could walk us through some things like how to use transitions and how to find trending audio and all of that, because it's a really, I mean, it's one thing to make a reel, but then it's another thing to actually get views on it and get engaged. So I don't know if that's a different class, but that's something I was really hoping to get out of this.
Yeah, so Eric and I actually discussed yesterday doing multiple social media trainings, each focused on specific apps. So one day it might be TikTok, one day it might be Instagram. But for Reels specifically, just like briefly, I have different clients who produce Reels in different ways. So some people are like food and beverage, and they create Reels in an entirely different way than like an influencer personality would. So there's no like specific formula that creates high quality engagement. As a real estate agent, my advice would be to really let your personality shine through. So you're not selling a home all the time. As an agent, you're selling yourself. You're marketing yourself. You're marketing your personality. You want people to gravitate towards you. The houses that you're listing might be great. They might be awesome. They might be fabulous. But if people want to work with you, they're going to come to you for your personality. They're going to come because you guys are a great fit. So as an agent, I would recommend really focusing on things that make you quirky, things that make you interesting. If you're creating reels, you're talking to people, you're really showing off yourself kind of, rather than always a listing. If you go to Eric's page, you'll see that he has a mix. Some of them are house walkthroughs where he's talking to the camera, he's inviting people in, but then he also has cooking with your agent. And we just posted one of those this week from the McElroy listing, and it lets his personality come through. He has like a fun sass about it where he's like cooking some oatmeal or cooking a meal, and he's in this great home. And he's just being personable. He's just being himself. So that's a big encouragement, is just to be yourself and kind of have fun with it. And then when it comes to the technical stuff like transitions or sounds specifically, go ahead and start scrolling through Instagram and saving the sounds that you want to use. So if you're seeing videos that have lots of likes, lots of engagement, save the sound and then use it later. And we can probably do another training specifically on how to do all of this, but save the sound, save sounds you find are fun, are trending. You have to look through people's content to find this. So on the content reference list, go through those links and see what other people are doing, and then kind of emulate that. Use those sounds, put in your own information. Transitions. Transitions are like a stylistic element. You have to practice if you want to do some really complicated ones. TikTok is like where they were born, like doing fun, cool, crazy transitions, but you have to practice at some of those. But for you, like for real estate agents, you don't need to be super complex with your transitions. There's YouTube tutorials on how to do a lot of them. So I recommend checking out YouTube just because of the timeliness of this. But when we do like a specific training for developing videos, I think we can go over that. Or just copy people. Go online, see if you see content that you like and just try to copy it, and maybe spend 15 minutes to an hour learning how to create that transition or learning how to create that style of video, and just emulate it and put your own twist on it. Social media is a lot of copy and paste. So trends, that's what trends are. People kind of doing the same dance or music or style of video and then putting their own twist on it. So don't be afraid to do that and just follow the trend. But we'll have a training that's specifically like talking about editing and the cinematography part of all of that, because that's a big conversation to have.
Yeah, I feel like that would be great because I think that's where a lot of us lack is that technical side of this. Like everything you talked about, I think we can apply, but then the technical side comes in. And it's where we're all really uneducated because it also changes so fast and so rapidly. Like I'm 30 and this has passed me up already. I'm constantly having to learn new stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it would happen like that fast. So I feel like that would be really beneficial for a lot of us to just kind of sit through some of that technical stuff, because I still like I'll watch the YouTube videos about how to create engaging reels and all that, but still that technical side with the transitions and all that, I'm like, I'm lost.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't want you to like focus on that and let it be a deterrent from you creating content, because when it comes down to it, you could just create a single take video where you're talking and engaging with the customer, and it doesn't have to have transitions or fancy editing. And that could be enough to really captivate somebody to work with you. But obviously, like when you're trying to grow and when you're trying to expand your reach, it's really important to have different types of content. So I understand exactly where you're coming from. And it's fun. I totally agree. Social media changes all the time and editing changes all the time. And the best way to get better at it is just to try it. Even though it might be weird, like you might feel weird filming a transition or practicing one, you have to, work through the uncomfortableness of it, and then you'll get better at it with each reel. So I have a page that I manage that it just reached 30,000 followers this morning, which is fabulous. And they started 2.5 years ago. The videos that they first put out are boring, kind of dumb. Like it's me. So they're boring, they're kind of dumb, and like didn't really know what we were doing. So now 2 years later, we've kind of figured out a flow. We kind of figured out how to edit. We kind of switch between cameras to figure out the best way to edit. So we can go into a more in-depth conversation about that, probably like a video training, and we can go over all the things that Eric uses, because he has a lot of technology that makes it very helpful when it's time to create videos too.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we'd all love that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Any other questions? Go ahead and speak up if you would like to.
So I got a first this week. It was amazing. I always like to ask my clients, hey, where'd you find me? And guess what? She said, TikTok. So I was pretty stoked about that. So that was fun. So it was nice. You never know where they're going to find you. And she just said she saw a local TikTok video of my series that Jessica talked about, of just my enjoyment to living in Lake of the Pines. And that's where she found me at. And then that's where we're going. So I thought that was kind of fun this week.
So I made my first TikTok reel this week, and having no idea about TikTok because I'm old. I'm not 30, but but I just went right in front of my stove with the fire on, and just exactly what you said. It was just me. And listening to this, I'm old and I'm dorky, but listening to this, I'm thinking, what a great transition to just go on and be yourself and do. My favorite transition is from for sale to sold, and you change out the sign, and it's just quirky, something that people fall in love with you, kind of like Andy Taylor. We don't know Andy Taylor, but we love him, well, some of us do, some of us don't know him, but just have fun, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's great advice. Most of the people you'll see online who do super well, they do so well because they are themselves. They do so well because they're totally authentic in the way that they present themselves online. A lot of the creators right now that are super popular among like TikTok creators and kind of Instagram, but this used to be YouTube as well, got so big because they were just themselves and did crazy things and funny things, and they weren't, wearing their suit all the time and talking about the facts every single day. They were being themselves, and that's really what got them to create their communities that they have. And there are so many different niches and so many different categories across social media. You'd be surprised about how many people are interested in what you have to say. You already have a sphere of influence that you communicate with on a regular basis. So a lot of those people will just naturally come to your social media anyway. And then more people like them will kind of gather and see what you're doing. And it's just a great place to kind of show off an extension of your personality, or your work life, or whatever you're doing. And there are definitely people who will want to listen. There are absolutely people out there who will want to listen.
So in our town, we're kind of small. We don't have a local newspaper, so social media is how you get your information out. But I wanted to ask real quick, how do I go on to watch the recorded? Where do I go to see the recording of these classes?
This is all on YouTube, and it's under Eric's YouTube playlist called All In with Eric Hatch. And it has all of his trainings, basically from the last calendar year. All of them are on there. So if you've missed any of them, you can go on there and check them out. They're usually
up here a second time.
Yeah. Yeah. So both of these will be on there. This one will probably be updated or added to YouTube a little bit later today. It takes some time to upload videos this long, but they're all on YouTube. So you can go back at any time and check them out.
Wonderful. Well, I sure appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for coming. And then Dawn in the question said, some people are famous now and they don't even talk at all on TikTok. It's all about their facial expressions. And that's very true. I do manage another page where the person doesn't talk at all. They don't interact with the audience verbally, but they just create a very niche video. So this person focuses on their subject. They constantly post about the one thing. Like, for example, maybe they're really into music and headphones. And so they're always posting about their headphones. They're always posting like fun videos with the headphones or fun videos with the video game, something like that. They're very focused. They don't even have to talk at all, but their personality is still coming through with their facial expressions, still coming through in their content. They don't even have to say a word. So it can be done. Totally can be done. There's a guy on TikTok who fills water balloons, freezes the water balloons, and then like cuts the balloon off of the frozen water. And he's got millions of followers, and that's all he does. He doesn't talk. He doesn't do it. It's all he does. So there are people out there who will watch and who will engage. Definitely.
Crazy. All right. Well, I'm going to leave the room, but thank you again so much. This is so beneficial. I sure appreciate you both.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Ellen.
Cass, I'm wondering
Just
if
ignore my chat thing. That's something I wrote so I would remember to ask
Okay.
you. I was just trying to say thank you.
I'm wondering, Cass, if there's any way we could do something at Summit like a hands-on,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe we could ask Jody to do like, whether it's with Hunter Royal or something, and just have like maybe class of 2 or 3 people, and you sign up for it before summit. And so it's such a small group where you have 3 people every, 45 minutes or an hour, and then 4 or 5 or something like that, where he can actually go hands-on and
Yeah.
just go and say, okay, we're gonna like teach you going from let's do a reel and get your camera out and go for it. But maybe, something of that nature. I think that might be helpful, if you think, Cassandra, that might be good for us.
Yeah, I really feel like, because we can just jump in and make the videos, but like Jessica was saying with her client that started, 2 or 3 years ago, some of our original videos just kind of suck.
Mhm.
And they're not that great. And so I know that we can just jump in and just make it, but at the same time is valuable, right? And so if we're using
Absolutely.
time, I think we want to use it to the best of our abilities. That's going to create the best outcome for us. And in order to do that, we need to know that technical side of it, because I have someone helping me with my Instagram, but I feel like they need to, like, there's more to it. Like there's just
Mhm.
more to it all. And there's so much to it. And like I watch the YouTube videos, but they go real fast. So it's almost like that connection where you're actually talking with someone that knows how to do it versus just watching a video about how to. Because when you're watching the how to, then you go to your phone, which you could still learn, but there's that connection you get when you learn from someone right off the bat. So I think that's a great idea. Or even if in a seminar Hunter created one in real time with all of us and was able to kind of project that on to like a big screen and walk
Mhm.
us through, okay, I chose this sound because what we didn't talk about with the reels is the arrow that shows the trending sounds and all that, and how much does that really matter? How much does that create more engagement,
Yeah.
and like all that different stuff. There's so many layers to creating these what look like simple videos, and they can be like the one I created yesterday is maybe a 4 or 5 second long video. And that got more engagement than ones that are 30 seconds long.
Mm-hmm.
And so, there's little tricks, and I didn't say anything in that video. And I copied the entire video. I copied all the text from some guy in Maryland. I just copied and pasted it. And that has gotten more engagement than other one. And so it's like, and like you said last week, sometimes it's totally random
Yeah.
what goes viral. You can't control that. But like, how do we set ourselves up for the best chance of success to get that seen the most?
Absolutely. And it's so different for each app. So I said this before, but Eric and I discussed doing a training specifically on each application. So 1 week might be dedicated to Instagram, one to TikTok, one to YouTube. They're all so different. And Facebook and Instagram are connected. They're a family, but Facebook and YouTube are not. So you want to operate on YouTube differently than you would on Facebook. Same with TikTok. It's unrelated. So you have to work it a different way. I think doing just specified trainings on each of those apps would be really beneficial for you guys. And then it's kind of hard to like do a video creating a reel. So I'll have to figure out how to share that with you guys. Maybe that's like a file that you can download. But yeah, if you're able to learn at Summit and do it in real time and just do like a demo, creating a reel or creating a TikTok, that would be super beneficial. We do it a little bit differently. We film it on like a GoPro or a phone. We import it into a computer. I edit it on the computer, and then it goes back to like Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, but it's not edited there typically. But we can start pretty easily in
See, and that's
Instagram.
another part of it too. I know last week you told us to download Clipchamp.
Mhm.
So that's essentially how you edit the videos that you take. And I think being a novice, like I just need to learn a little bit more about that. But
Yeah.
that's, the technical side that's like, okay, how to, and this is like you said with practice too, but like how to film the different takes and how many you need. And like another thing is, when you mess up, you can just stop filming right there and then start filming again right where you kind of left off. And so there's little, tricks that you can do so you don't have to do everything in one take. But I think that's just getting a little bit of advice about that stuff, I think would be beneficial.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's hard over Zoom to say, hey, this is how you do it. But maybe even we could get out our phone and you go, okay, look up this person.
Yeah.
And then we can all kind of work through something together where maybe we all make a reel while we're on this call together, just walking through one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a
Like,
great idea. We can totally do that.
yeah, something like that
Totally.
where it's like, okay, now here's how we do this transition, like practice
Mhm.
moving your phone like this. Because once you know how to do one of them, then you can teach yourself all the others. It's almost like learning that first thing is the most difficult because
Yeah.
you have nothing to base it off of. So if you had something to base it off of, then it would be like easier to practice those
Mhm.
transitions. And I know that your time is valuable and important. So obviously if I'm asking too much, that's okay too.
No, I totally think that that's a very informative class that you guys could have. And that is one of the more difficult part. I mean, social media is difficult, but that is a very deterring part of social media for people who are starting out, because you're seeing these videos be created that are just so great, so fun. You know, the transitions are just on point all the time. Some people have like very experienced cinematographers and video editors that work with them. So they're being built not even on Clipchamp. They're being built in like really high quality softwares. You know, when you're on a budget or you don't want to pay for anything, you're obviously not going to have that caliber of editing or cinematography, but there are still things that you can do that are free. So we should probably just go over that and how to do it in the most cost-effective way so that you guys aren't out here spending tons of money on editing apps or people, like hiring people to edit things for you. It's challenging, but it's a really great skill to learn too. So even when you have basic knowledge of filming, just filming with your phone, it's very beneficial.
Well, yeah, and at the end of the day, this is where marketing is going. It's going
Absolutely.
away from the static photo to the movement. And so
Yeah.
we better learn it now or we're going to get left behind. And so just applying actual technical skills that'll help us not just be super novice and look, below average, just that those few things I think are important to me from what I've been learning and doing. So thank
Yeah.
you so much,
Yeah, of
Jessica.
course. Yeah, we'll plan a training around that. That'll be great.
And Cass, you're doing a fantastic job. So you've
Yeah,
inspired
you are.
you inspire me on what you do. So, and I think the thing is that you're doing is you're just being consistent. And that's the key part of it too.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really am trying.
Cool. Well, if there is no other additional questions, then we will, again, these happen every Friday. Unless I'm out of town, unless it depends on the time change or where I'm at. But I think I do have a Friday coming up for my birthday in the first part of December. I don't think I'll be here, but we'll have it next Friday. And if you guys have any particular training that you want to be on versus other than social media, let me know. But we're basically, I'm just taking, now I have so much content, I'm just kind of starting over. And I know we're going to start getting back into goals of 2023 and starting to kind of hit that of getting a jump start of that year and stuff. And so, well, there's also, I know that I like to do a lot of training for the holidays, what to do during the train. I think I'm sitting on a board or a panel coming up at the middle of December somewhere on what do you do during the holidays to market your clients and stay busy. So I think that's coming up as well. So I don't know. Maybe
Eric, when's our summit?
Our summit is in everybody should have just got another email. I think I saw it the other day, but it is the
Well, Leslie said May 8th.
May 8th. Yep. So because I'm getting the two mixed up. So yes,
Oh, I
May
can't
8th
wait.
through
That'll be
10th.
so fun, guys.
8th through the 10th. And then the Century 21 global one was March 5th through the 7th. 4th through the 7th. But if those are going to the global, let me know, because there are certain things. I don't go the first day because it's more international stuff. So you can, if you want to just go in and out for 2 days and only spend 2 nights there, I'll tell you where the meat and potatoes are. It's right in the middle of the 2 days usually. So nothing to do at the end and nothing to do at the beginning. So just the middle 2 class days. But anyway, just get in and out. All right, cool. Well, guys, thank you very much. Appreciate all of you for being here, and we will talk soon. If you need anything, just feel free to reach out. I'm always here. All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
You're welcome. Take care.
Bye.